Welcome everybody to AusDraft 2.0. This is in the second round, and we have Team Kiwi versus Team Flightlessbird getting started right here. We'll quickly run through and introduce the players. We'll start with Team Kiwi. We've got Zack Attack here on the flank as the Bengalis, followed by his undoubtable captain, Kiwi, as the Tudens. Big boomy Civ, what he has, going for the late game. The surprise, the surprise Civ pick of the game is Alliance with the Khmer as the pocket. This is the only Civ that we did not correctly predict for this game. And then finally, we have the Byzantine flank for Grand Nagus. Nagus is quite likely to trush, especially if he scouts that he is against Kados here as the Turks. I think it's incredibly likely that we're going to see an 18 pop, 19 pop trush, potentially. Maybe a little bit slower and go for a Vinch trush just to slow down the Turks, prevent Castle Drop Jannies coming out onto the field. But to support Kados, we do have Arfulf playing as the Poles. I love the houses, chucking them close to the TC so that they don't block any folwark spaces, so he can get the big pole boom going in the back of his base. The other pocket is Captain Flightlessbird himself, playing as the Burgundians. Very, very sick eco civ, incredibly strong unit composition as well with the Burgundian Coustier. And then finally we have Spot the Samurai as the Bohemians here on the flank. I don't imagine that we're going to see very much aggression on this side, to be honest. Bohemians versus Bengalis. Maybe there's a little bit of a monk push, but I'd be surprised if there's anything beyond that. Castle Age, Sight Wagons are not particularly great, and they're just going to sort of get converted anyway if there are monks out in the field. So I would expect both these players to just sit back and boom. And then we have Burgundians versus Teutons. I think this is an interesting matchup, to be sure. You've got Coustier versus Paladin with extra armor, or you have Coustier versus Helberso. I'm not sure which army comp I would prefer as Teutons. Potentially Helberso, but then if you've got Elephant Archers coming out from Zack Attack, then maybe Paladin is better. Let's go Kiwi. I mean, let's go both teams. We hope to see a banger of a set right here. But the other side, Poles versus Khmer, are I think two civs that have similarly strong eco bonuses, with the Folwark farms versus the Khmer farms. But then the unit compositions are just vastly different. Poles go for cheap spam quantity units, right? They've got their Schlachler privileges. I probably butchered the pronunciation of that, but they've got the cheap Cavalier versus Khmer going for either Cavalier, but most likely elephants. So you've got cheap, weak Cavalier versus big, fat, tanky elephant boys. It's going to be an interesting matchup there to see how that plays out. Here's my prediction. Zack will monk rush, and Flight will have scouts in the field and snipe a bunch of monks. Ooh. Interesting call. Burgundians definitely could be on the play for scouts, collect some relics. Getting food from the relics is a pretty nice bonus. It does smooth out the eco quite nicely. Why do I never predict the same as my teammates, just donating channel puntos? I mean, you need somebody to predict the opposition team, or else you're not going to win anything, right? Sniping Bengali monks at scout. That's true. The Bengali monks, they've got the extra melee armor, which helps them. But Spot, up on 20 pop, but he has a mill, and he's not on gold. What is the play there? We do have chat turned on. He's not on stone, so he's not trushing. And then Mr. Nagus is also not trushing, it seems. Yeah, I don't understand why you would go up this fast if you're not trushing. Oh, nope, we're going to stone, but this is not how you do a trush build. You shouldn't be building a mill if you're trushing. That's just a waste of wood, and a waste of villages as well. You don't need all this. You're still going to have cows and sheep underneath your TC to keep that going. And then you also don't need 5 on wood. I'm not sure if Spot has actually practiced his trush build, because he also needs to send villagers out soon. And he needs to take the villagers off berries, and this is part of why you don't build the mill when you're trushing, because those 4 villages should be trushing, and then your TC vills are what keep up food production. Got a pretty fast uptime. 23 pop from Arf. He's mining gold instead of stone, so we're not going to see any sort of castle age shenanigans, it seems. It looks like it's just going to be a straight boom. A little bit of a scout tussle in the middle of the map, but nothing too crazy. And then we're also seeing 24 pop from Kiwi and 23 pop from Arleon. 24 pop from Arleon, sorry. I don't know if Arleon's going to be able to click up straight away as Khmer. He's got far too many villages on wood and not enough on gold. And he's also done loom. So yeah, this is not going to be a very smooth boom, which is a little bit unfortunate. A little bit of a waste of the Khmer Eco bonus. Dropped frames. OBS says 0. I don't see any issues on my side. Okay, but we do see the first tower coming up from spot. It's not exactly in the best position. You don't tend to want to trush too close to the corner, because as we can see, it's just far too easy to just wall out this corner section. Alright, we see here some buildings, potentially a defensive tower, and then you're just chilling. And the question is, does he remember that there is a hole over here? And this is also why you like to build your houses along the front of your base, if possible, so you have an extra layer of walls, if necessary. Trushing the corner, patterns and humble pie strats. That's definitely not the best thing to do. We see Kiwi getting double bid axe. He's going to have the resources to go up quite nicely. And here we see Arleon's hit the feudal age, and he's making 2 villas. But he's very far off in the gold count. His food's almost there. But he's also down to his last sheep. So Arleon's going to have a little bit of an issue right there, I think. Over here, going to stone, so we're going to see a castle drop in Jannies coming out from Mr. Kados. And then for Nagus, there doesn't seem to be any sort of defense for this. He's up very, very late, so we're potentially just going to see a fast imp. Byzantines, fast imp, monk defense, maybe a chemistry and bomber cannons. Could be on the cards. And the question is, are the Jannies going to be fast enough getting into his base before he's able to defend? Yep, and then we see the first counter tower. Probably honestly should have built it a little bit further over between these 2 houses, so that it covers the back of the blacksmith as well. Oh, and then doing the smart thing as well, he's not finishing the tower unless he feels like he has to. Saving the stone if he wants to delete it for later. But I do think he should have 2 or 3 vills just preemptively mining extra stone just in case it becomes necessary. I always thought Biz was dark horse here for Trush into fast imp. I mean, it definitely helps them go for it, I will be honest. Okay, we see the first TCE being built up here by Mr. Arthwolf. And TC number 3. Oh, second extra TC. Ooh. And we do see the stable from Mr. Flight, so we're going to see a monastery as well. He's going to go pick up some relics. I wonder if he's going to actually try to bust in anywhere. Ooh, oh, I love that. The scout is able to get in on the other side and get some hits in. But yeah, defensive Mangonel, sack attack should be just chilling here. Oh, I'm not sure what you're doing there. Like, the tower should just kill you, Kiwi. That was... yeah, not ideal. You did predict the flight scouts. That was a good call, Noz. Straight into the extra TCs for Mr. Kiwi. Doing Bosaw. He's not doing the, oh, he is doing heavy plow. I like it. A big boomer boy. That's what you like to see. And oh boy, this is the way to punish a fast imp. You just chuck up a castle on the front of their base. And flight scouts are over here as well, trying to make sure that this goes up unmolested, I should say. Going on stone. I don't think Nagus is going to be able to do towers. And I think this might slow down his imp a little bit. He might need to drop 2 monasteries straight away and then add his building after that. Just so that he has a little bit of army out on the field to convert the Jannies that are soon to be in his base. But oh, if he's not paying attention, he may not see that there's a gap between this wood line and Jannies, or even these scouts could just dive right past there. That could be interesting. Flight going up to 3 TCs as well. He hasn't actually built a monastery yet. Which is... not my favourite idea. He did forget to eat a cow as well. But I feel like if you're committing to the scouts, you want to try to pick up as many relics as you can as quickly as possible. Oh, we're not even seeing a mango. We're seeing an armored elephant getting out there, whacking his head into this tower. He's going to take it down. He's just also clipping through the wall almost. Red should get monastery as Bohemians. It looks like he's just mining stone. He's going to drop a defensive castle at the front of his base and then potentially just switch into a boom. He's got the stone and the wood for a TC if he wants it. Oh, the elephant does get taken down by these scouts, though. Scouts are not able to get inside, though. They are still walled out by all the houses. Oh boy, are we seeing another castle from Kados? No, he's only got 400 stone. Oh yeah, we do see the double monastery, but he is up to Imp. He's up to Imp, he's getting Sanctity as well. Definitely a necessary tech that he needs. I would think that Flight should be swinging his scouts over to that side, to be honest. Because scouts plus Jannies seems pretty deadly, to be honest. The hole is still down here, by the way. And we even see Arleon building double stable. He's only 2 TCs, but he's going double stable and making some knights to help defend his flank here. Yeah, exactly, Humble. You want to pick up the relics early because the food boost from the relics, as well as the gold, obviously. They're just such a nice combo. Such a great boost for Eco. We do see the 3rd TC coming up for Zach. Only the first additional TC for Spot. He's got a Siege Workshop. I'm not sure why he's built a Siege Workshop, to be honest. Because he's got the stone for a defensive castle. He doesn't need a Mangonel or anything like that. We do see Lightcav, though, coming in for Flight. His scouts are heading over here to join in. I would like to see them try to snipe some of these monks at some point. Siege Workshop and Uni. Okay, so we're going to see Chemistry and Bombard Cannons coming out for Nagus. And Kados is really not committing that hard to Janissary production. He's only got 3 Jannies. Not a lot of army whatsoever. Kados does have the stone. He wants to drop another forward castle right now. I think he sort of missed his timing window to do that, to be honest. Because, you know, Chemistry is going to be done in a minute's time, and then there's going to be Bombard Cannons on the field. And then the forward castle is just going to instantly get killed. I feel like if he wanted a castle, they needed to commit to this at minute 19 or something. Flight needed to get Lightcav instantly. He needed to make, you know, up to 10 Jannies, hopefully. And then you just roll in and you try to just kill as many of the monks as possible and then drop this castle. Now it seems like he is just pivoting back to a boom. And adding petards, though. So potentially he's thinking about swinging to the pocket. That was definitely the other option. You realize that your guy, he's got some defensive set up, he's got a lot of monks, he's going for fast imp. So it's just, okay, we skip you, we go petard bust into somebody else, and we try to hit their eco. And we do see Arleon adding in the 3rd TC. But there is already a decent eco lead for Flightless's team. The question is really, is Nagus' fast imp plan going to pay off right here? Lycavs are just roaming around the field. We see Kiwi also trying to go for some relics. I guess he can maybe pick up that one. I don't really see any other relics nearby. I guess this one's relatively safe as well, so he can get 3 relics himself, which will be useful later in the game. Helping with some extra gold income for the expensive Paladins or SO Bomber Cannon plays. But he might not even get this relic, to be honest. Kados has a Lightcav nearby. And we see that Flight has a monk traveling the field. And what is Kiwi doing? Your monks are just standing here. Oh boy, here they come. The Jannies and the petards. It looks like they're just going straight for Kiwi. That's an interesting and a bold move, I will say. Kiwi's just about to click up to Imp. We do see Arf already on the way up, though, as the poles. Is he building a castle, though? He's just about got the stone. Just needs to drop off a little bit and build it, and then get that cheap knight tech going. And honestly, cheap knights is probably decent at countering a fast imp. Because who cares if they can't convert 4 or 5 knights when you've got 30, you know? Oh, that was potentially a mistake, going for that particular wall spot there. But they are in now. Kiwi loses one villager instantly. And even if he does pick up this relic, he's potentially going to lose that monk as well on the way back. Okay, trying to chuck up some walls just to stop the enemy from running past these two TCs. But even just like sitting out of range of these two TCs and denying 5 or 6 farms, denying the stone, is probably pretty decent value already at this point. You have to assume that Arlian has army. I think they may have seen one of the knights with the light cav that were running around. I wouldn't put that past them. There we do see the slasher. We see the stables being built. We see the knight upgrades coming in right here. And then Flight, it looks like he's just going for Paladin. He's got an idle monk here with a relic. And he's going for a very, very forward castle. Oh boy. I'm not a fan of Burgundian Paladin. But yeah, Arlian's Knights are coming in here to help clean up these Jannies, which they are going to do a wonderful job at doing. But the light cav running around is just causing a little bit of idle time, a little bit of a headache that he has to worry about. They may kill a village or two, but Kiwi is not taking a massive amount of damage right now. The question for me, though, is just the army choice. If you're picking Burgundians, you need to research Cavalier before you hit Imp. And then try to just timing spike. You hit Paladin as soon as you hit Imperial Age, and then you have 20 to 30 Paladin at minute 28 or something. And then you just try to roll over people with very, very fast Paladin. But you see here, he's 15 seconds away from Imp, and he's still got a minute and a half to go on Cavalier, so he's definitely wasting the bonus there that the Burgundians have. We see the push, though, from Nagus, starting to roll forwards. He's got a small number of pikemen, and because he is only on the 1 TC eco, he can't really afford mass helps, which is what he's going to need shortly against all these Cavalier. I think Arf just needs to keep waiting a little bit. You're not forced to fight just yet. Wait until you've got 20 or 30 units, and then just roll over and kill all of his army. Because he has such little eco, he can't replenish his army incredibly quickly. So as soon as you kill the bulk of it, you've essentially won your side. Over here, though, we're seeing Helb Ram from Kiwi. That's definitely not what I was expecting. I was expecting Helb Bombard Cannon or Helb Onager, if that's what you were really going to make. I guess the worry is that the Bohemians are such a scary late game sieve that you just want to ram into their base and try to take them out of the game early. And then, yeah, just the other issue right here is going to be the Burgundian Paladin. They're missing Bloodlines. And then you're against Student Helbs that have extra melee armor. I feel like this is not the correct unit choice of Flight. The forward castle is definitely going to help out, though. Give him a place to retreat to, and oh boy, we do see the big fight coming on this side. The monks are all going down. The Cavalier are going to kill all this army, and then, as I said, once Nagus loses this, he just cannot replace... Oh! He just finished Halberdier after all of the units died. All the monks are down, all the bomber cannons are going down, and he is still open. So these Cavalier can just dive into his eco. And, yeah, just go. Go, go, go. Just roll in there. We also do see some siege coming in from Kados right here. Okay, we're trying to see some walls come up real fast. But I'm not going to lie, like, this many Cavalier, you just attack the gate and you're probably going to get in. Nagus is not really going to be able to stop you getting in. We do see Arlian checking into his own Cavalier right now. But he just does not have the numbers to fight the Poles here. Maybe Burgundians should have gone hand cannon? I don't think that's a good idea, because you have Bohemians who are going to do hand cannons, right? Ugh, unfortunately, he didn't get chemistry on the way up to Imperial Age. I feel like the combination of Bohemians plus Burgundians, you have the potential for an insane Imperial Age power spike, where both of you have Imperial Age upgrades before you hit him, right? You have Cavalier finished, you have chemistry finished, and then you instantly have, you know, 20 hand cannons and 20 Cavalier at minute 30, and then you just try to roll through someone. I like the fact that Kiwi has killed this castle, to be honest. Because securing this gold is definitely going to be relevant for later in the game. The question is, does Zach have enough useful units? Which is not really the case just yet. Oh, he's also done Elite Elephant Archer really early. I think I would have preferred to just go normal Ellie Archer to begin with, just get the mass up and then upgrade them later. But Nagus is just absolutely defeated right here. Nagus is dead. Did Nagus run any vills? It does not look like it. He's got 2 vills here that could maybe make a run for it if he deletes some walls. But Nagus is Kiwi's first pick. If Nagus is dead, I don't think there's any point... Yeah. I don't think there's any point in continuing. Because, no offense to Arlian, but he is the weakest player on the team. It's incredibly unlikely that he's going to be able to hold 1v2 against such powerful civs as Poles and Turks. And while this is going on, Kiwi and Zach, they've got a decent push coming in here. We've got some monks, Elephant Archers, Helbs. But the problem is that all of these units are slow. It's very, very difficult for them to swing over to this other side to help out. And while, yes, the Teuton Helbs will do decently well against the Polish Knights, there are still there's a decent number of Jennies behind this. There's bomber cannons and trebs. And while this push is going on, it's just not an incredibly quick push. Don't forget to turn off notifications. I don't think we're going to have any issues in this game. I think this one's going to be over pretty shortly. We're not going to be getting to the super late game, unfortunately. It does seem like flightlessbird's team has had the superior strategy. Did Nagus get vills? Yeah, he's got 2 vills down here, but it doesn't really matter. There's just so many units here just killing all these buildings. Like, especially if you kill all the houses, it's just incredibly annoying to reboom. Because you have to spend what limited resources you have, first of all, building houses, so that you can then make vills. And also he has 0 food in the bank, so he needs someone to steal him food so he can make vills to begin with. And Arlian just has no army, right? Arlian has 2 Cavalier, and there's 69 Cavalier on the field for Arthur, plus the bomber cannons, plus the Jannies. This isn't over. If you're against Pole's flank, I guess you mean if you're against Pole's pocket and want to FI, you need to FI with the castle. I mean, adding the castle after you've picked up move is perfectly reasonable, but the problem was that he couldn't afford to have 7 or 8 villagers mining stone, because he had to be heavy on gold so that he could make monks to defend the Jenny push. Right? And yes, he killed the forward castle, and he killed a couple of buildings here, but then afterwards, boom. And just the timing of his Cavalier attack was just perfect, right? He waited until he had enough cav to clean up the army, and then once the army's dead, it's over. That's the big weakness with fast in plays, is it's a one or a done strat. You're either going to win with it, or you're probably going to lose because you have no eco behind it. Over on this side, they are starting to push back as well against Kiwi and Zach attack, but that's mostly because Kiwi has, 40 Helbs streaming over to this side to try to help save Arleon's base. But Arleon's, only got 87 vills right here. He really wants to have 130, 140 vills so that he can spam Hussars or spam Helbs or anything like that. And we just see the massive Cavalier and Jannies are just cleaning the Helbs anyway on the side. And I think we're going to see there has to be a GG soon. I can't imagine this game continues for much longer. We even see Flight going for block printing, potentially as a counter against siege weapons. But I'm not really seeing very much in the way of siege for him to really need to worry about that, if I'm being honest. Oh, and Chaos is going for double forward castles right here. Really turn the screws on this team. And just remember, there's all this gold and stone still in Nagus' base. The Kados and Arthwolf can come forwards and just gobble up. And even if this castle does go up for Kiwi, there's 4 or 5 trebs, 4 bomber cannons very close by. They're just going to instantly siege it down. There is a second monk on the way. Block printing for 2 monks seems to be the play. Maybe he just wants to convert some of the elephant archers. Maybe he just wants to have fun and get some big fat chunky elephant boys. But yeah, the castle goes up, the castle goes down. He's also trying to get a nice wall off up here, but that's probably going to get denied by this castle anyway. Flight's even going for crop rotation, as if this game is going to last for another 20 minutes for crop rotation to actually matter. Chaos is going for another castle right here. Bengali, monk resistant, and Teutons is cheating? I mean, that's just decent civ drafting. But I say that, but Flight's draft for Arena has been incredibly powerful. They did pick a lot of early civs, though, for this combination. Let us remember that. Once we get out of the game, we'll take a look at what civs are remaining on the draft. But that was just a very, very clean game from Team Flightlessbird. Yeah, they came in with a plan. The Bohemian Trush certainly wasn't executed particularly well. I think he probably could have just quite happily boomed. But the Trush does slow down the Bengali player a little bit, make sure that there isn't any weird shenanigans going on that might be disrupting flight and stopping him from getting to his late game army comp. GG indeed. Kados and Arthulf, though, they were just peak performance right there. Even getting the O-Book switch going to counter the Chuden Halbs. Not really necessary, honestly. When you've got, 20 or 30 gens behind your Cavalier, they're going to do a pretty good job. But let us skip out and take a look at what the draft is looking like. Turks, Bohemian, Poles, and Burgundians versus Byzantines, Teutons, Bengalis, and Khmer. Is O-Book a required switch, given Cavalier don't scale well? I think it depends on what you're fighting. Because, obviously lacking the last armor upgrade really does hurt the Cavalier. But because they're so cheap, quantity has a quality all of its own, as the saying goes. Like, just look at Goths, right? You're in a similar situation where you don't need to have an 140 Vil Eco. You can have an 100 Vil Eco and have 100 Cavalier on the field relatively comfortably in early Imperial Age. And even if they aren't fully upgraded, 100 Cavalier is scary. The question now does become, where do Lithuanians go? Do they become the Arabia Pocket? Or does Hindustani become the Arabia Pocket, and then you have Lithuanians going to Team Acropolis? Decisions. I think Hindu is still Team Acropolis. I definitely, that's where I'm leaning. That is my, I gotta pay out the predictions as well, by the way. Let me go do that real fast. Oh, it was almost a 50-50 prediction as well. But yeah, Camels on Team Acropolis is just such a useful unit to have, especially when there's going to be a ton of, what's the word? Camel archers and cav archers on the field. The extra speed on the camels is quite useful at chasing them down and killing them. Lith on TA, if right version, has easy relics. No. The TA version that we're using has the relics spread throughout the map. It's not like the Oz NZ version where the relics are on the hill. Dravidians for TA due to the dock bonus for sure. I mean, so many teams aren't even docking the pond, so I don't think anyone is actually going to plan for that. Yeah, I think that Lithuanians make sense. It gives them a paladin civ for TA, which is what I like. One, two. So that should be two. Sorry, not three. So you got double paladin civ. Oh, actually, yeah. So we said that we weren't doing Lithuanians there. Never mind. So we have two paladin civs, camels. I would still like to see a paladin civ for Team Acropolis. But I guess Slavs just doing boyars is probably okay. No SO civ for TA, but might be fine. I think Slavs is going to be used on TA, not Arabia. The team bonus is definitely more relevant on Arabia because of the get builds. And, 18, 19 pop archers and scouts and whatnot, having a couple of free houses is more useful. But I think you're more likely to need an SO civ on TA. In which case, Slavs is really their only option. Have we seen TI yet? Nope. I think it's quite unlikely that we're going to see very many games of TI. Only the annoying teams like Noz. where they actually spend a ton of time preparing, are actually going to play TI, I think. Alright, I was about to say, just play TI against my team, so then I don't need to cast it, but then I have to play TI myself, so I don't know if that's actually what I want. How about you play TI when you're playing another team at another time, at like the same time as another match, so then I can cast the other match, and then cast the TI game from Rex, and I can just fast forward to the first half of the game. That's, I think, the solution that we need to have. Hmm. Persians. Persians does seem a little bit sus, to be honest, for Arabia. Like, they're an okay pocket suit, but you pick them before Hunt and Khmer. Both of which I think are probably better on Arabia. It's for the castle issues, yeah. Exactly. Did you see Germany versus Cells on TI? No, I did not. Unfortunately, all these other tournaments are at very, very unfortunate timings for us Aussies. Flightless Bird will win, no need for another prediction. Well, that's exactly why we need the prediction, so that you can predict that. Oh, and the next game is just about to start. Let us get that ready. Let's quickly chuck up another ad so that we don't get an ad during the middle of the game. And we'll get the prediction rolling. Who will win game 2? 5 minutes, that's what we want. Persians for TA for early dock. I don't see which Civ they replace, though. And I don't see which Civ is able to replace them on Arabia. Like, potentially Saracens, if you want to do some meme double stable scouts using the market, like Flight did on Donut in round 1, potentially. By the way, that was an absolutely sick game. Make sure you check it out on YouTube. Hashtag sellout. But I don't see why you would be picking Persians just for the dock bonus. That seems silly. No, nothing to see in that game room. It was a very interesting game. Humble, I will be honest. Hey Alien, how's it going? Unfortunate game just there. Flightless Bird really seemed to pull out all the stops. And they did use significantly stronger civs as well, let's remember. So we're potentially seeing a situation where Kiwi hedged a little bit, but didn't really go all out on the civ draft. And then is trying really hard to pick Arabia and TA, which are both maps that he is pretty comfortable on, I would say. I'm doing pretty well. I'm glad we've got some exciting Age of Empires that we can cast. And then we'll jump in. Game number 2. And then let's see, do we have any weird civ picks? Oh, oh, Saracens. Yep, Flight is going for the Saracen pocket strat. Oh boy, oh boy. Everybody. Well, let's just quickly introduce the players and we'll come back and we'll talk about this. But we have Bastia, Drain Gang coming in as the main flank. We have the Saracen pocket for Flightless Bird. We're going to see some crazy shenanigans going on here. Over to the other side, we have Kados as the Magyars, and then the final flank is Mr. Arthwolf as the Portuguese. For the other team, we've got Zakatak as the Dravidians. Lovely, lovely civ for Arabia, in my opinion. Kiwi as the Franks. His favourite civ, no doubt. He is a born and bred pocket player. The other pocket being Drogoth as the Lithuanians. And then finally, we have Grand Nagus as the Vietnamese. So, Saracens, pocket. Are we going to see Flightless Bird doing the same strategy that he had on Donut in round 1? Where you go up fast, you're sort of standard baguette build, but you send a bunch of villagers to gold, you do 2 stable scouts at the start of the game, just buying food with all the gold income that you have, using the Saracen cheaper market prices. and just going absolutely ham on early scout production, trying to get massive map control, massive position in the early game, clean up the first couple of archers, the first couple of scouts from the pocket, then have a huge army lead as you transition into more of a standard economy with farms and berry bushes and all that plebeian things. Um, Against him though, Nagus has a pretty nice map, if I'm being honest. He's got back gold, a kind of a backwards wood line, a back berry, so he can quite comfortably wall across that front side with barracks and archery ranges. And then he could try to circle around the back, or potentially just wall to the edge, and then get a bit of a team war going with Drogoth could be an option. But then the Saracen player also gives the team bonus of archers deal more damage to buildings, which makes it a much trickier proposition to go for early walls and rely on them to keep you safe, when the archers can just clean them up quite comfortably. How did TA become Australia's home map? I'm going to be honest, I'm not entirely certain. I think it just sort of suits our gameplay, where in general, there are far more pocket players for Australia than there are flanks. And on TA, essentially everybody is a pocket. So, if everybody's a pocket, then everybody's happy. Everybody's able to get a bit of a boom going, go for strong late game civs. We are also very, very cognizant of the fact that you must start trade early and start trade hard in any sort of late game map. So it's quite common that we would have just a significant trade lead over our opponents and then grind them down when they aren't able to afford um, full gold units army. We do see ARF going for the tried and tested Portuguese build, where you open with a mill, getting that wood trickle from your berry builds. It's a very, very strong bonus, I will be honest. His lumber camp is a little bit late, if I'm being honest. He might struggle to afford his buildings once he hits feudal age. But you just have so much extra food that you can quite comfortably get double bit axe, and sometimes even the gold mining upgrade potentially, or just have a faster castle age. Thanks to the sick eco lead. He's got a ton of villagers on straggler trees. He needs to send a few more to his lumber camp. Saracen Pocket, I've seen this movie before. I mean, we've seen Flightlessbird do this exact thing before. But he's not gone to gold, he's gone to mill instead. So maybe we're not going to see the market strat. That is disappointing in the extreme. I was getting hyped. I was excited to see double stable scouts from Saracen Pocket. Instead, it appears to just be boring old natural pocket play. Flight playing the mind games, wild. The thing is that I don't really know if you can do anything to stop it. Because you don't need the gold right away because you have 200 stone. I guess that's true. Oh, and I guess you do need the mill so that you can build the market. Ah, I'm an idiot. Yeah. Never mind me. I wasn't paying attention in the first round match when it happened. So I didn't actually see the exact build order. But yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Good job, chat. You guys are much smarter than me. You guys know what's up. We do see some scout shenanigans happening on both sides. First player's getting up to the feudal age. And yeah, as expected, Orange is a little bit short on the wood. He's only able to build the one archery range to begin with. Oh. And we do see the double ranges for grey. And here comes the AoE3 music. Popping up. Oh yep, double stables. Robo feigning ignorance on how to do this build order, but secretive all over it. I will reveal nothing about our plans and our practice. Yep, and there's the market. Oh yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense, because you can't afford the 100 wood if you need to build 3 buildings like this. Now the question is, how do you counter this? I guess Lithuanians is potentially a civ, where you could do double stable to begin with. You skip eco upgrades, you try to get 4 or 5 scouts out as quickly as possible, and just try to negate that early scout lead. And then transition into a normal game. Definitely could be a possibility. Because we do not see any eco upgrades for Mr. Flight, which does make sense when he's on such an all-in strategy, I would say. Have you had any deep thoughts on how to beat it? Just be on the other side. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Leave it to the other players to deal with, and then it's their responsibility. I like that idea. And we're seeing no horse collar for Drogoth. Yeah, it's like the early army lead is actually like quite insane already, right? It's I mean, actually it's only 3 versus 2, but he's got 2 more scouts coming in. We do see a pause right now. Over on the other side, see players already trying to move forwards. No one's. Oh, Grey's already got fletching. Okay, he knows how to beget properly. The question is, are they going to be able to force a fight before Orange gets his own upgrades? Is the question. I mean, I feel like they should be trying to be as aggressive as possible because you do have the extra HP from the Franks. Plus, you've already got fletching. You just want to roll up into them and try to, kill off their first few archers. Maybe deny the berries. That would be really nice. Where are our purple scouts? Purple's only got a single scout on the field. Kiwi already has 3. That's definitely not ideal. Kados has. He's also got a ton of idle TC time. I wonder what's gone wrong for his game right here. Yeah, I would think that Kiwi and Zach just need to put the pedal to the metal and just dive. Yep. Whoa. That was a little bit of a speed up. Oh, yes. Oh, Kiwi. Oh, God Gamer. Oh, yes, that was a brilliant play. Getting in that little hole, blocking the archers from running away. And this side is essentially won already. The army lead for Team Kiwi on this flank is almost insurmountable. As long as they don't throw their army to the TC, they should pick up 2 or 3 villas. Oh, we're seeing a rod. A hot rod to defend the goal and the wood line here. Yeah, if Kiwi's team just keeps pushing around, keeps trying to deny these villages, why is the game speeding up? Okay, this tower is going to go up, unfortunately, so he will be safe here on these resources. But even just denying, I mean, I guess it's only 100 food, but they can just roll onto the pocket. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the right play. Good call. Oh, and Purple's wood line is right here. Is he going to overchop this? Is the question. I want just that one tree. 45 wood. Probably not going to overchop, but it is still just completely open. Oh boy, we're seeing the double stable. Double stable as a forced reaction to defend from this push. Not a proper rod. He has ranges up. True, but it's a defensive rod. He needs to, it's a delayed rod. He needs it. He needs it to stay alive. The lack of scouting from Kiwi is a little bit unfortunate. They could be trying to hit these berries right now. They're in a very, very solid position. Over on the other side, though, how is it going? It seems like it's just a very, very defensive game. All the archers seem to just be sitting... where's the KD? Yeah. 0 kills and 2-2. So yeah, Nagus is just sitting in these archery ranges. They're just waiting. They recognize, okay, they have Saracens. They're going to have a huge army lead to begin with. We just need to chillax and buy time. We do, though, see bloodlines already for these scouts. So we have 15 scouts versus 7. The combined health pools, it's double, right? You've got twice as many scouts almost, plus they have extra HP. They're going to have a rough time over here. But Kiwi and Zack Attack should also be having a lovely trade. So we're almost going to see a side-for-side trade-off, essentially. You sacrifice Nagus to kill off Arthur and Kados. But Kados is doing a brilliant job trying to defend this with the double stable. The thing is that because he has 2 stables so early, he's not going to be able to afford upgrades. He's obviously got the free forging, thanks to Magars, but he's not going to get armor for a long time. He's also probably not going to go for gold for a long time either, so he's not going to get bloodlines. Which means that now that Kiwi has armor upgrade on his scouts, he just has massive upgrade advantage. And oh boy, Kados just not having all of his scouts there, I don't think it would have made a massive difference. They weren't going to just suddenly win this. But they might have had a bit of a closer engagement right there. Red has no archers though. I mean, Red's got a decent number of archers. It's not as many as Nagus. Well, now he has more because Nagus has just lost so many. But Flight has just completely dived onto this tower. We've seen another defensive rod coming in for Nagus. Nagus has lost 5 villages though. So he's definitely taken quite a bit of damage right here. He's got villagers long distancing wood all the way over on this side, which is definitely not ideal. Arthur's going to get the culverin shipment from his home city and clean it. I mean, potentially. Oh, that villager survived somehow. I feel like Flight is almost in the position where he should just stop making army and buy his way up to a castle age. He's also got no horse collar and no double good axe, so he's really not prioritizing any sort of eco right now. Seems like they have finally cleaned up this army at the back, but Kiwi on the way up to castle age already. Eco-wise, Zakatak's got the same number of vills. So Zak's had a lot of idle time, unfortunately. Arthwolf has had quite a bit as well. But they've wasted a little bit of the advantage that they gained, and he also built a tower in his gold. Why did he build a tower? When did he build this? He didn't need this. They were like massively ahead early game. They were putting on all the pressure. There's no need to be defensive when you guys are in the enemy base. Negus is only now doing fletching. What? I didn't even think to check that, because why would you not have fletching at minute 16? Can we get a rod emote? I am 100% down for that. I just need somebody to make the emote for me. If you've got a good idea... Oh, and Flight is swinging, and oh boy, Zak is just going to get absolutely destroyed. Can he get the quick walls up? I don't think it's going to matter, because these archers will be here soon enough. And Flight just doesn't care. He's just diving under the TC. He's doing whatever he wants. He still doesn't have any blacksmith upgrades, though. So without armor, he doesn't really want to sit too close to these archers and TCs. But the massive army lead that we have on this side is substantial. Kiwi, being the greedy boy that he is, has just gone up to castle age. He's only got 2 stables. I would honestly think about adding a 3rd stable just so that you can make as many knights as quickly as possible to try to clean up this fight. Because like even this number of scouts plus these archers can fight plus 2 knights without too much difficulty just because of pure numbers. And Kiwi isn't even going for any TCs. His castle age time was absolutely insane, but his eco... Okay, he's going for 1 extra TC right here. On the other side, Bastia is taking a bit of damage because Flight's army is on the other side of the map. He's rushing back this way, it seems. But he's on the way up to castle age himself, getting those eco upgrades I was complaining about, and so is Bashed. Whereas Nagus has absolutely no food in the bank. He's got 200 food. He's not clicking castle anytime soon. We're trying to see a defensive tower here to defend the farm eco. This is far too many farms. You never need to build 18 farms in a feudal age as a flank. You're supposed to build 8 farms, and then you send all your villagers to wood and gold, and you buy your way up to castle age. That's how you're supposed to play Arabia. 10 farms. I will accept 10 farms. 10 farms is okay. 11 farms, you're pushing it there. 8 farms, the correct number of farms, but you also kind of died, so it doesn't really matter. I do feel like this early stage of the game, unless Kiwi can pull something out with, yeah, see, he's busy killing killing scouts with his knights instead of being aggressive, which is really wasting the potential of his early castle age, right? Like trying to find a hole in someone's base, try to sneak in, like this is just completely open, right? Imagine 3 or 4 knights hitting Purple's gold just before he hits castle age. How is he going to afford knights if he's completely off his gold? Farming is so 2021. Market is my new best friend. That's it exactly. Flight going straight into 3 TCs, sticking to the 2 stables, and he is going for knights, not camels. I don't know about that. He could honestly think about going for camels, because you would expect that Bastia has such a large advantage over Nagus. Or at least you would hope that he has a large advantage. But just going camels and just trying to 1v1 Drogoth would be a decent idea. Everybody is almost in castle age. The slowest is going to be Zakatak, unfortunately. And even with the damage that Arthwolf took early, I feel like the double stable scouts play from Kados really did buy them enough time to fight off that early army mass. And now they can potentially push back pretty hard here. Try to use that castle age and Bodkin narrow timing. We're seeing some walls trying to come up to stop these knights. Little does Kiwi know, it was open on this side, but it's nearly finished now. Zak going for horse collar instead of prioritizing castle age. Did he do that? Oh no. Yeah, you never do horse collar until after you click up to castle age. Because You've only got 8 farms, remember? Why would you get horse collar when you've only got 8 farms? Hey Remisco, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. And like Kiwi's Knights, like he has a nice army advantage. But he's only on 2 TCs himself, and he hasn't really been able to do any counter damage. Oh, but there's a hole! Oh! Oh, that is rough. Dive the wood line. Go, 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 go. Oh, that's unfortunate. Those villages could have all been flattened there. Saying that though, he's still going to go get some bills on the gold, it looks like. Causing a bunch of idle time with all these quick walls. Just running underneath the TC as well, killing villagers here and there, idling the farm eco. But here comes the crossbows though, going to clean up these last few knights. Let's go back to the eco KD, let's see how Kiwi's going. He's got 7 eco kills so far, 8. We did a decent amount of damage there. But there's still such a huge crossbow mass on this side. And then back over in Negus' base. I mean, he has a decent mass of crossbows himself. He's going for the Union Ballistics, which is what he needs. But he's got 2 towers to defend his wood and his gold. And I was saying that his base was pretty nice earlier in the game. But now it's just looking ugly as all hell. He's camping on this hill. Nice positioning for Flightless Bird. And he's also got Light Cap upgrade. Keeping those scout numbers that he had useful. Making them into, you know, half of a knight instead of a third. What is the price of food? Birdie has to run out sooner or later. Am I able to see the market price somewhere in Capture Age? Flightless Bird has bought 2,200 resources. That's a lot of food. But yeah, I don't know how to check the eco prices, unfortunately. I don't know if Negus should be coming out here, to be honest. I think he needs to just be sitting at home, maybe trying to snipe 1 or 2 knights. Oh, but Kiwi is once again, though, diving in with knights, getting damage. The question is, though, are you really going to leave Zack Attack out here by himself? Zack Attack's just going to get absolutely mobbed. Like, crossbows and knights from one side, and then it's just the TC on the other. Okay, now Kiwi is forced to come back and help out. Yeah, I think trying to kill that tower was a little bit greedy, to be honest. But this does look like a... Kiwi's knight numbers are not insane. And the crossbow numbers are slightly in favor of Arf. I'll just get back to this hill, I think, and then just calm down a little bit. Can you check by clicking on a market? Oh, Timber, you're a genius. You are a genius. The food buy price is 198. Does it update if I'm looking at a Saracen market? Oh, it does. Oh, Capture Age, you're brilliant. 160 food to 160 gold to buy 100 food. Definitely on the pricey side there. I guess the nice thing about having the Saracen play is that it also completely kills the Baguette build from the flanks. Oh yeah, sorry Panda, I didn't even notice you said that. Because I was just saying that you do 8 farms and then you buy food. But if the Saracen player has already bought 1,000 food, you can't really afford to do that anymore. So, wow. There's so many layers to the strategy the fight is doing. Because they can't just buy their way up, so they're forced to make more farms, which slows down their castle age time. This is brilliant. This is bloody brilliant from Flightless. I will happily admit that. Drogoth has huge knight numbers. Flight's not too far behind, but I think they could try to force this, to be honest, on this hill. Especially if these light cav are just diving into his eco. They are going to get some build kills, though. Back on this side, army is just chilling. They're sitting on hills. There's still this one scout attacking away. Yeah, I struggled with that last hit. I should have made more farms. Yeah, it makes... It's like, it's something that you don't even think about because you're just so naturally used to buying, you know, 200 food for 300 gold. But if you have to buy 200 food for 400 gold, that's just so difficult to comprehend and plan for. Because you don't think about it, right? You don't think about the fact that the Saracen player is buying a ton of food until you build a market and you look at the price and you say, oh shit, I can't afford that. Okay, Kiwi is on the 3TC. He's adding a monastery. I do like this. Trying to pick up some of the relics in the mid game really helps smooth out the Imperial Age when you start to run out of gold. Oh boy. Okay, yep. We've got a big swing coming in from Kiwi. This is going to be a massive fight. Kiwi's team should absolutely clean this up. Lovely positioning as well from Kiwi there with that patrol in with his knights. even though they're on a hill, flightless bird is just going to get absolutely cleaned here. The question is, are they going to be able to deal significant counter damage on the other side? And they're going to run to this TC. They could honestly kill it with the Saracen crossbows plus Mega Knights. Kiwi has reinforcements just sitting around. We do see Bashed on the way up to Imperial Age, right as he loses all of his army. So that was just absolutely insane timing right there from Kiwi. It was a perfectly executed switch. The issue is his side going to die in the meantime? He probably needed to be on 4 or 5 stables quite a bit faster, though, and just commit... Oh, he's gone up to Imp. Oh, I don't know if I like that. I do not know if I like that. So he built the monasteries upbuilding instead of trying to contest the relics. Yeah, I think he's potentially going to take a ton of damage. He's also not on his extra gold here. And he's almost finished his main gold at the back of his base. So he can't get out to this gold because there's a bunch of orange crossbows denying it. He's going to struggle making army in Imperial Age. Does Kiwi have enough for a castle? Nope, he's only got 100 stone. Drogoth is lit, so Kiwi shouldn't take relics. Oh yeah, that's a good shout. That is a fair shout, but honestly, I would probably still pick them up and then just give them to the Lithuanian player later. I would be greedy like that and say, I want this gold income. You can pick them up later when you want them. Right? Okay, they are looking like they're gonna... the crossbow numbers are still quite insane for Mr. Arthur. He's got a big lead over Grey, but Kiwi... I guess the other issue is Kiwi is just losing all of his knights before he hits Imperial Age, and he doesn't have enough to really actually get involved in a fight here. They're almost getting one-shot by the crossbows, assuming that they actually manage to hit when they're not dodging madly back and forth. You have to hard win your side before you can switch, really. To some degree, yes. It depends on how hard you're switching. Like, you don't always have to do a full switch. Sometimes you just send, 5 or 10 knights, and maybe those small numbers are enough to make a difference. Ooh, this... I don't know if Bash should be out here with this many crossbows, though. I mean, he's got Arb and he's got Bracer coming in, but I think he still loses to this army if he's by himself. Is there ever a world where you see CA like him? Oh... No. If you're forced to use Tatars as a flank civ, then maybe you're obviously going to switch into CA when you get to start preparing for Imperial Age. But that's only going to happen in larger sets when you don't have enough civs. Is this a live game? Yes, it is. They are currently playing this right now. Oh, I don't know if I like this decision from Nagus and Drogoth though. Yeah, because they're just going to get trapped back here, fighting between a TC and all these camels and arbs. We do see a bunch of Imperial Ages coming in though. Both of the flanks are up to Imp for Team Flightless Bird, whereas we have both of the pockets and one of the flanks for Mr. Kiwi. Nagus is never going Imp. Flight does not have the food to go Imp, and the food price, as we were saying earlier, is absolutely tanks. And yeah, I don't know if that Knight switch was the correct call, to be honest, from the camel switch from Flight there, because there's still so many crossbows out in the fields that you just get absolutely shredded before you're actually really able to engage the knights. And the numbers advantage here for Grand Nagus is actually enough that you just don't care about the hill, and you don't care about the arbor either. Just keep patrolling forwards. Feels when Bash just stonewalls out his own pocket. I mean, you gotta be safe, man. You gotta be safe. Oh boy, and we do see the relics starting to be picked up now. For Mr. Drogoth. Does he have a monastery? How many does he have? He's got only the 1 relic so far. Soon to be 2. Potentially 3, potentially 4. So yeah, he's almost guaranteed to get all 4 of the relics. Oh boy. Kiwi is a man after my own heart. Look at these team walls through the middle of the map. I love this. Preventing any sneaky raids, securing the trade line for later in the game if it's necessary. Problem is Flight doesn't get Cavalier. He had to kill the flank with scouts, then go camels. Well, they did somewhat do that. And I think continuing with Knights in Castle Age is perfectly fine. Up to a certain point. Because eventually, yes, you're going to have to switch into camels, but you don't really want to do that until... You want to delay that as much as possible. Because in Castle Age, the Knights with the 2 extra pierce armor are just so much stronger. We see Paladin on the way for Kiwi. We see a couple of Mamelukes coming over here to try to help out. And oh boy, Arthur has just revealed his crossbow mass, and Kiwi's just going to try to jump on this and kill as many of them as possible before he gets Bracer, before he gets his Imperial Age upgrades. And we see a forward position from Mr. Zach. He's not on stone though. Well, he is on stone, but he's not heavily on stone. So he's not able to build his own castle yet and get trebs. I guess he's just going to make a couple of siege elephants. Seems to be the play. Okay, we see that the Night Raid from Kados has managed to sneak around the walls. But there is a castle here to defend this position, which is absolutely fine. Continuing to wall across this side. And now Drogoth has cleaned up most of Vash's army. He's got actually 50 arbs somewhere? That's not 50 for sure. Click. 20. Where are the rest of his arbs? Oh, they're back here. Okay. He's had to send half of his army to go chase some Castle Age crossbows. That's interesting. Casual 160 bills. I mean, that's just big boomy plays. You know the odds and ends community. We're all pockets. We all love booming. Oh yeah, you bash down that scout. That's what you do. Oh, going for a relic as well. Yeah, I think Kiwi needs to be trying to force a fight with his soon-to-be Paladin, but he's not producing anything at the moment. He's got 500 gold in the bank, and he's got nothing in the queue. I hope he hasn't dropped or anything like that. No, he's starting to move. Why are you not spending your gold? Don't tell me you're saving up for chivalry. Oh, nope, now he's queuing them up again. Oh, TCing a forward gold. Don't mind that indeed. Paladin on the way for Drogoth as well. The crossbows are being cleaned up in the back of the base. And we see it looks like Nagus is going to go for a market over there. If he can build his own walls to secure this corner, then I think Kiwi's in position to win this game. We're also seeing the walls out this way. Bombard cannons are out on the fields. Give me flight flank showdown. Yeah, I think Kiwi needs to be using his Paladin. I guess you could kill these crossbows if you wanted to, but I would be just trying to dive into people's ecos, right? Dive into the farming eco, dive into the back of Orange's eco, even like try to harass Flight if you were able to. It seems like Kados did notice that Kiwi was going for walls and has decided, hey, that's a good idea, I should do that myself. But oh, look at this army of Paladin right here. Flight's just going straight Mamelukes? That is a greedy play. I don't know if I like that. I mean, he's got decent castle numbers. I will give him that. So his production's not going to be lacking too hard. Oh yeah, this castle is going to go down. Paladin there to kill the Vills, kill the Trebuchet as well. It'd be nice if Zack Attack could bring his arms over to help support. But I guess in this position they are almost a blocking force, trying to herd away the Mamelukes. This TC is about to die. The question is, do they see the Mamelukes coming? And while the Mamelukes are coming, is red and yellow just going to take too much damage on their side when all the Flight's army is over here instead? Definitely not the ideal situation to be in. Oh, bomber cannon shots! Oh! Oh, I was hoping the arms would continue to walk underneath the TC and just get absolutely flattened. Oh, I had dreams of big bomber booms right there. All these villagers look like they've overchopped as well. I don't know if diving under the TC is the smartest idea, I will be honest. But denying this castle definitely has some value. How many relics are we up to now as Lithuanians? Oh, we do have 4, so we've got fully upgraded Paladins. Kiwi is missing the last attack upgrade. And he's also got not a ton of gold, and he's starting to think about the trade. But oh boy, here come the Mamelukes. Just back up to the castle, I like this. You know that they've got 3 players' armies here. Just hide underneath the castle. Kiwi, you need to get your Paladin in front of the Arbs. You need to be tanky for them. Don't let them get hit by Paladin. Honestly, Zack could even try garrisoning in the castle and just right-clicking on the Mamelukes with the castle. Flightlessbird is mass selling resources right now. He recognizes he needs more gold as well. And it does look like that Flight's team is going to take a really great fight here. All the Kiwi's Paladins are dead. Kados has decent numbers, but while this is going on, they're just rolling around the back of Flight's base. Luckily, he has so many castles spread throughout his eco that they, you know, they limit the amount of damage that can be done easily. Dravidians have farms down for eventual Arch switch. It's not exactly a huge amount of farms, but he's got some farms. It looks like he's going to go for Helms instead, which I think makes a lot more sense. He does need to finish this wall off though, but we see markets starting to be built. They're thinking about the trade line, and there's an extra golden stone here that Kiwi should be gobbling up and trying to sell, just to afford more Paladin. Trebs coming out on the front lines, while they just get run around at the back. Oh, look at Purple's juicy economy. Please, just dive into this. Dive. Kill Purple. Return the favor. Flight comes over to kill Kiwi. Drogoth comes over to kill Kados. We see a single trebuchet up there. The problem is that right now, Zach has essentially no army. He's only got 10 arbs. He's getting a couple of the techs necessary for Helms. He does have cheaper barracks upgrades as the Dravidians. But he's just got essentially no goals. He's got decent food. Decent wood bank, but not a ton of vills still on wood. So he's going to potentially have issues there. Oh, and they're taking a fight. I don't know if they should be doing that. I think I would have much preferred, as I said, just to dive into Purple's eco and kill as many of his vills as possible. But while this is going on, they are pushing the front lines. Bastia's base is going to get cleaned up pretty soon. Seeing his flight is just busy everywhere else on the map, it seems. Oh, and unfortunately, the wall is denied here. All these villagers trying to gather gold just getting cleaned up by these Lycav. No, Kados, that's a little bit of a... Why would you ever think that you could build that castle and then take this gold? What are you even thinking, my man? If he, like, taps his castle, oh, it would just get absolutely one-shot by that castle. But while this is going on, Zach's base, it's definitely not looking great. And the nice benefit of Magars is they do get Hussars, whereas Lycav is all that Franks are able to build. You're walling in your villagers to protect the vills that are building a castle, it seems. I don't know if you've thought this through, Mr. Kados. Now you're going for a slightly more attainable castle, I should say. Oh, and the raid's coming in from Kiwi. He's got very, very solid Eco KD. Flight is down to 110 vills. He had 160 not that long ago. And Yellow's base is having a rough time of it. He does still have okay Mameluke numbers, but he's starting to invest his gold into trade instead, so he's forced to just make Lycav instead of real army. Oh, is the castle going to go up? Yes, it is. Will this castle go up? Potentially. There's only 3 vills there. You could just right-click them and kill them. All of the arbs, or most of the arbs, I should say, are being taken down, but still, flightlessbird is continuing to be a pest on both sides of the map with his Mamelukes. Arbs poking in on the front line. There is some gold there as well that they could potentially steal away from Zack Attack right there. But the trade line is starting to be built up for Team Kiwi. Continuing the walls across the front. They are almost fully walled. Yeah, and here we are. Kiwi's doing the right thing. He recognizes, okay, Zack's base is no longer safe. We need to wall behind this to make sure that the trade goes up. Honestly, Zack probably needs to grab like 40 vills and just migrate them back to this wood line and start farming in this area so that he can try to have a little bit of a safe eco. Because he's just going to get constantly raided in this position, which is going to make it very, very difficult for him to get the help switch going. Although he's got decent numbers over here. Enough to clean up small raids. Back on this side, Flight is starting to lose castles. Arf is on Praetoria's? Is he? Where? Oh, is Arf on Praetoria's? No, he is not. He has a couple of TCs. He's only got 70 vills though, and he's got 40 arbs. He's got a decent army. Starting to set up trade. Robo didn't guess that Arabia's going to be the longest game. No, I just said, nah, Arabia's going to be the shortest, just by default. A good pocket will leave his flank to tank the damage for him so that he can preserve Pala numbers. I mean, yeah, you're not incorrect. Ugh, using a lumber camp as part of the wall is definitely not ideal. That's definitely a weak point right there. But yeah, this push is kind of unstoppable at this point, it seems. Flight's going to continue to lose castles, which means he can't keep making Mangudai. Ooh, Mamelukes. I wouldn't mind seeing Drogoth split off, 10 or 20 paladins, and just try to raid into Bash's eco. You know, deny this little bit of farming eco that he's got. Try to get these lumberjacks at the back of his base. Memgudai. Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, they're slowly killing Zac, but in exchange, Flight is losing his base. Oh, and these villages on gold are going to be ripe for picking soon. These arbs should be able to shoot some of them over the walls, I think. If he notices. But there's just so much army here. He does have decent numbers of Mamelukes. I say decent, he's got 20 odd. Which is, you know, that's okay. But there's 60 Paladin and 60 arbs. Plus a bunch of Trebs rolling into his base. So he's guaranteed to lose this castle. He's probably going to lose that castle as well. And once he's only down to 2 castles, he's not really going to be able to keep up the Mamluk production that he needs. Oh! Don't open the gate, please. Well, yeah, I like that castle. Building it through the wall. Doing a good job. Yep, and Kiwi's just making an army and just trying to buy time. Just buy time, because this side, like, they're almost into the trade line as well. And once they get there, then the game is definitely over. Yeah, there's another castle in the line of fire coming up. Arbs and pikemen from Mr. Bashed. Starting to get more of the infantry upgrades that he needs. But, oh boy, 5 trebs. Yeah, like just take some of the yeah, exactly. This is what I want to see. You grab some of the Paladin and you just run and you raid. That's another castle for Mr. Flight. But he loses one and he replaces it. And oh, I love this castle from Zac. Building it on a hill in the back of the base to defend a trade line. I'm not sure if he should be the one taking this goal. I think Kiwi should have gobbled that up long ago, if I'm being honest. Oh yeah, Paladins are starting to hit Purple's eco. That's what we like to see. I'm not gonna lie, even just killing like a bunch of these houses is probably gonna screw over Flight pretty hard. There's an extra stone here, which would be pretty nice to pick up. But yeah, the eco lead seems to be quite intense at this point. Yes, they're behind by a lot of army, but most of this army is just on this side doing absolutely nothing, right? What are these arbs actually contributing to the game right now? Peanuts. Whereas the army from Nagus and Drogoth is actually being useful, gutting Flight's eco, denying so much of his farming eco, denying his important production buildings. I think the one thing that I would like to see is more forward buildings. Like, Drogoth's stables are all the way back here. He needs to be building forward buildings to secure this position. Oh, that trade cart. It could be dying if the castle only noticed. Unfortunate. Oh boy, yeah, and Chaos now is just fully out of gold, so he can't afford Paladin anymore, whereas Kiwi's got 40 trade. So he's able to afford a decent batch of Paladin and trying to take a good fight here. And Paladin versus Hussar is just... It's not really even an engagement that you want to think about taking. Plus some Helbs coming in. Helbs and Skirms, I should say. Zac Attack trying to be useful, doing his best. Doing his part, and all of the Arbs are cleaned up now from Arthwolf. As soon as they get a couple of Trebs or some siege weapons, they're going to take back this castle, clean up these forward buildings, and then reclaim Zac Attack space. Killing that TC does not matter in the slightest. Oh boy. Big engagement coming in, it seems. A bunch of Helbs now from Bashed. I don't know if this castle's going to finish, but this castle is definitely going to die. And honestly, that... Oh! Yes, it does die. It does die. Woo-hoo-hoo. And then now you're fighting underneath 2 castles. Yes, you've got a bunch of Helbs, but they are going to get absolutely shredded by the Arbs and castle fire. The Mamluks are forced to run away. And then this just slow castle push. They are Vietnamese castles, unfortunately. Some of the weakest in the game, but he's getting hoardings right now. Going to have a bunch of HP. And then at this point, I would say, ignore Flight's castles, go kill Purple's farming eco, and get into that trade line. That is what I want to see. Just send it. Send all the Paladin over here. Kill all these farmers. Oh, but Kiwi has managed to sneak in on this side. Oh, they weren't properly walled. Oh, that is unfortunate. And then now there are Paladin in the left-hand side of the trade line. There are flashing lights everywhere on the minimap, but it does look like this should be game soon. It should be game. Oh, there is a relic hidden underneath that castle, by the way. Oh, that is a castle. I don't know if that's the best castle, but it is a castle. Yeah, Purple has noticed. He's not a silly Billy. Yeah, Bastia just doesn't really... He's got... Where are his helps? Oh, they're all stuck back here. They're getting stuck in this pond. That's unfortunate. There's just so many trebuchets out on the field. This castle, another castle going down for flight. He's just not going to be able to keep making Mamelukes. He does have this castle all the way over here on the right, but both of these castles look like they're going to die soon. I mean, he is starting to build the forward stables, just like I wanted to see, securing this land for Team Kiwi. The Paladin, there's some Arbs here trying to kill them, but the Paladin should be able to kill the Arbs if they want to. It looks like they are on defensive stance, so they're not actually running far enough. Like I know he has noticed. He's going to clean up those Arbs, keep killing the trade. He's even getting into the back of the eco here, killing some bills. And now they are pushing back really hard, and the army count has now swung back the other way. 5-10 minutes ago, it was 200 army, 240. Now it's only 170 to 240. Let's go Kiwi. Yep, it looks like Kiwi has, well, Team Kiwi has won this game. We're just waiting for Flight's team to realize that they are dead and stop kicking. Yep, there is the GG. And once again, we are going to have a 2-1 series. We're going to the deciding game number 3. Whew. That was an intense game. That was impressive, I must say. I guess that's how you count a Sour Pocket. I don't really understand how they counted it, to be honest. I guess Kiwi swung over, but that was like really late in Castle Age. I think that Flight and Bashed could have been more aggressive. Like, they were just sort of sitting on this hill for a long time, not really doing anything. Like, they could have potentially just gone past Nagus and tried to hit Drogoth instead. Something that would be worth watching again maybe sometime and having a good think about. Let's put up the score. Let's go and redeem the predictions. 82% bet on Kiwi, so unfortunately you're not making a ton of profit. And then let's go and update these civs. So we had Saracens instead of Persians. That's a loss. And they had Mayans, and they had Portuguese, and they had Mayans. So then we had Franks, Dravidians, and we had Vietnamese, and Lithuanians. So that means sorry, Turks now. Turks, oh my god, my words. Koreans. Koreans now moves over to Team Acropolis. And do they use Persians? I think they have to use Persians so they have a Paladin Civ. Because they don't really have any heavy cav. Like, especially if they don't have Saracens anymore. Saracens doing heavy camels or Mamelukes could kind of fill that role to some degree. But now they need to bring out the big guns, bring out the Persian boys, bring out the elephants. I'm just gonna duck out for a second. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm gonna grab a drink because that game was long. Potions for early dock heard it here first. I mean, I guess we did. But yeah, I'm just gonna duck out for a second, and I will be back shortly. Okay, we are back. Have we paid out the predictions? Yes, we have. 82% of the bet was on Team Kiwi. So most of chat seemed to be on the ball. They seemed to know what the storyline was getting into game number 3. And we do see, looking at the Civ draft so far, that Kiwi has quite clearly not picked Civs for Arena. And we see how this is going to work out. Going into Team Acropolis, he has 4 Civs from his top row, whereas Flightless Bird's only going to have 2 Civs from the top row, and he's forced to use 2 of his bottom 4 picks. Which means that you would expect Kiwi to have a pretty solid Civ advantage. That's how I would put it. Be in a pretty nice position. And just such a heavy prioritization on the early picks for Mr. Flight on Arena, which definitely paid off. He got the win quite convincingly, but has he drafted well enough for the entirety of the set versus just an individual game? Hmm. I wonder if there's anything that I could do to like fix Flight's draft in hindsight. I mean, I guess in theory, Mayans like always kind of decent as a Team Acropolis Civ, playing for Plumes. But you would think that Berbers and Burmese are both at least similar in strength, while Mayans are just so much better for Arabia, so that's not really a change that they can make. And then Turks and Bohemians are just completely fixed. You can't really use them anywhere else. Flight wasn't interested in a game 3, wanted into a bold strategy. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, like, he has definitely made some logical picks to try to balance around it, but instead of picking Berbers here, for instance, that could have been... I guess Tatars doesn't really help him, and neither does Teutons. So it could have been like Lithuanians or Vietnamese, potentially, instead of Berbers. Or just pick his flanks for Arena a little bit faster, if you wanted to only play Arabia. I guess if he was going to concentrate on Arabia harder, I would have picked Portuguese much faster. And then, I guess if they wanted Saracens for the pocket, they're probably pretty confident of picking it up later in the game. In the draft, I should say. So yeah, I can't really see a way for him to really improve his draft unless he doesn't want to play Saracens, for instance. Because if he didn't want Saracens, he could have quite comfortably picked up Lithuanians much earlier as a more traditional Arabia pocket. If that was what he was inclined to do. Oh, looks like the game is getting ready to go. Oh, I need to leave the previous game first before I can watch the next one. Silly me. G'day, Smallhead. How's it going? Hope you're having a great day. Ooh. Kiwi's team is using Huns instead of Koreans. Interesting, indeed. I guess it does make some sense there. Yeah, wanting a Paladin Civ makes a lot of sense. Wanting the faster stable bonus, which helps out the Hindustanis and potentially helps the Slavs as well. All around, it's pretty nice. And they do already have the late game siege covered by having Slavs. So I definitely don't hate that decision. I could definitely get on board with those specific civs. And then let us jump into the game. Into game number 3. The deciding game of the series between Team Kiwi and Team flightlessbird. Over here, in the west of the map, we have Kiwi himself playing in the flank as the Tatars. His pocket, who's not really a pocket because it's Team Acropolis, is Zakatak as the Hindustanis. Then we have Grand Nagus as the Huns. And then finally Drogoth as the Slavs. Going down that side. And then over for Mr. Team flightlessbird, we have flightlessbird also playing in the flank as Persians. Then we've got Kados as the Berbers. Bastia, Drengang coming in as the Goths. And then finally Arthwolf as the Burmese. So what are we expecting to see in this game? We expect to see at least one player, potentially 2 players, playing feudal age scouts, trying to harass the enemy as they wall, harass them as they move down off the hill towards the extra golds and the extra woodlines. There's going to be at least one player on each team going FC into Cav Archers. Oh, predictions. Oh, yes, good shout, people. See, chat, this is what you guys need to be doing faster. You need to remind me before the game starts. There we go. There we are. We're on. We're figuring this stuff out. But no house walls. Leaves too vulnerable to team with Hindu scouts, +1 bonus. I don't think that should be an issue. Like, especially seeing as like the Hun player has such a small area that they need to wall. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. You know what was I saying? Okay, yes. What our player is going to go for? I would expect to see Flight, probably doing scouts into knights. I would expect Bastia to be doing scouts into Boom as Goths. Potentially scouts into Camel Archers, or just FC Camel Archers from the Berbers, and then 100% FC Arambai from the Burmese player. Holy balls, look at that woodline. That is a beautiful woodline for Team Acropolis. The only problem is that it's so far forward, it could easily be ranged by Cav Archers or any sort of sneaky ranged units that get up there. Does anybody else have a beautiful woodline? That's not too bad, you've got 3 woodlines nearby. That one's pretty good for flight as well. And like even here, these are all pretty good woodlines. I'm very impressed with this map gen for Team Flight. Over on the other side, we've got Kiwi as the Tatars. Potentially scouts into CA, but I would assume it's going to be FCCA. I don't like... He's got the worst lumber camp I've seen so far. Then we have Zakatak as the Hindustanis. He's going to be doing scouts into camels. Very logical. Somebody's bashing down a wolf. Okay, we see Kiwis trying to go for a pond. So is Flight. Oh, you called it, Humble. You called it. Persians for the faster dock and the pond. Oh. 4 fish in the middle. Not too bad. Not the most, but also not the least. Yeah, get out those boxing gloves. Bash it down. Oh, and the Hindus are on the same team as the Huns as well. Yeah, what are you talking about, Humble? Why are you saying these silly things? Huns. What are Huns going to do? Now that he's building a mill, means he could be doing FC CA, but we've already got 1 player doing that. So probably scouts into knights? Or maybe FC knights? And then you have Slavs as well. Oh no! And no loom as well. Oh, Kiwi. Kiwi Titanic. Kiwi Titanic. Oh no. Oh, this is like 4 lakes when you get denied trying to build the pond. Build the dock. Oh no. Oh no. He's got 1 chance. 1 chance to get the wall off. Oh. Riverinos. Oh no. Does he send another vill is the question. And his scout is just chilling here. It's even further to travel than 4 lakes. True that. Oh. Oh, that is just... Oh. You know, I don't want to overreact and say something silly like that's GG. But, like, if we go and have a look at Kiwi's eco balance, he's floating so much wood now, and he's forced to switch into a mill. This means that Flight gets to take the entire pond uncontested. Oh, it's rough. Rough indeed. But actually, we're seeing the Berber player go for scouts. Which means, is Flight going just FC? Seems to be the case. I'm not sure if I like that. It's a lot of wood wasted because the dock's almost complete. True indeed. You delete this, you're going to get back like 25 wood. Essentially a house, which is not great. I mean, I guess it makes sense that you want your stronger player Flight to get to Castle Age and get booming and get knights going and whatnot. But I feel like Camel Archers is just such a strong unit, especially when you're expecting FC Cav Archers from Tatars. Having a ready-made counter ready to go seems too good of an opportunity to miss out. Yeah, unfortunately, I probably should have set the prediction timer to be a little bit shorter, considering the prediction started late. Oh, what are you doing, Negus? Why are you building a stable here? And where are these villagers going? What are these walls that you're trying to do, my man? Just build the stable there and build 2 palisade walls, and you're chilling. And you didn't even finish these walls. What is going on? Okay, but it looks like we're going to see FC from the Slav player, and we're seeing scouts from the 2 pockets. Makes sense. And we're seeing scouts from both the pockets on the side as well. Okay, that does make sense. Chad moves to lumber camp forwards instead of backwards. I mean, exactly. Like, there's perfectly fine lumber camp or woodline that he could be taking over here. He's just asking to get killed by camel archers, but there's no camel archers. Potentially a Rambai could get in there if they wanted to. Oh, doing the Chad move as well, taking a boar from the bottom of the hill for some extra food income. Pretty nice. Very, very slow attempts for the back and the side walls. Like, Flight is potentially never going to finish these walls if Nagus and Zakatak just leg it over here with their initial scouts. Oh, did Kiwi just lose a vill? Kiwi's lost 3 vills now. So he's lost 1 vill here, he's lost 1 vill at the dock, and then 1 other vill someplace else. This is not Kiwi's game. Kiwi is having a rough one. 4 vills. Oh no. Where did he lose them all? Oh, that is just Titanic. Oh, and this is... Okay, no, this is fine. He's just luring a boar and then he's going to fix the wall later. Nice, I don't hate that. He's going to FC with a market on a stable. No, a market on a blacksmith? What? I don't know if I like that. I guess if you're going to go for knights, you can delay the blacksmith in the stable a little bit. Hopefully he doesn't forget to plug both of these holes in the wall. And look at this, there's just holes and walls everywhere. 2 scouts from Chaos and a scout from Bastia potentially going to get in here. But over here for Mr. Flight, he's also lost 2 vills. Been harassed. We do see defensive scouts from Chaos here trying to help out. And they are going to defend themselves quite nicely here, although Flight did take a little bit of damage. Does Kiwi have plan to? Not the most solid of starts. I mean, you know, sometimes shit just happens and you have a bad start. It's unfortunate, but that's what happens sometimes. Oh boy. Good timing. Or, is he gonna... Ooh. That would have been entirely hilarious if he opened the wall to let the sheep in and then 2 scouts came in instead. It looks like that side is completely walled. These walls here are basically finished. So it looks like Kiwi's team is now fully walled, but at what cost? 3 of Kiwi's vills cost. Whereas on the other side, they are nowhere near fully walled. There's just a huge gaping hole at the back of Flight space. He's going up with a market and a stable. He honestly might need to make a scout or 2 on the way up to help defend his base. He does have a single spearman. And he's made 6 fishing ships. I think that's a little bit excessive, even having a pond all to himself. Does Kiwi boom or go heavy CA? He has to make CA, I think. Or they're saying that he's taken so much damage that maybe he just booms. Where are these vills going? I guess he's going to drop a TC at the back. And he doesn't have a barracks or an archery range, so I guess he is just booming. But booming as the Tatars seems so funky. Why would you boom with Tatars when you could be booming with a much stronger late game civ, like Hindustanis or Slavs? Okay, Slavs has now built a stable though, so he's going to make a couple of knights it looks like, and then expand out for TCs. TC down here on this wooden gold seems lovely. Okay, and now we do see the castle coming up for around by production, and getting a TC over here on the side wood line. Kiwi just about to make it himself. He's diving all the way around. He's got a couple of balls that he can eat there. Now the question is, what does flight do? Does flight go for knights? Oh, there's a hole there. Or is he just going to go for boom? I mean, he's deliberately built the stable, so he's probably going to make at least 1 or 2 knights? Maybe 1 or 2 camels? Yeah, camels, that makes sense. And, oh, flight. This is potentially... Oh! The Ville's going to make it. We continue around. Are there any other holes? That's a bit of a hole. But that should easily be walled before the scouts get there. I'm not a huge fan of adding extra TTs on the top of the hill, if I'm being honest, because the wood line's just so small, they just get eaten through so quickly. I very much prefer it when you're whoa, that is a ton of villagers building a TC. Have you ever seen a 19 villager TC before? That's insane. It's like a ghost town up here now. There's nothing here. Oh, flight. Oh, sorry, not flight. Kiwi's thinking about TCing out here, but his flimsy eco makes that a little bit difficult. Plus the roaming scouts from Bastia getting in the way. That knight maybe kills the Ville. Not worth dying to the camels though. Try to keep him alive for later. Kados hasn't even walled in these villages at the back of his base. Could be vulnerable if those scouts had seen him down there. Oh, and there's a hole over there as well. Oh, there's holes everywhere for people. There's this hole that he's deliberately made. But now go the Arambai. Okay, we're seeing Huns go for scouts into CA, and then Kiwi just booms. I don't understand booming with Tatars, though. It's like, they're an okay late game civ, but they're by no means amazing. And like, realistically, they're just going to boom into CA, which is nothing extremely impressive, if I'm being honest. Where are the Arambai going? They're heading over to this side, it seems. Maybe they recognize that Kiwi wants to TC over here at some stage. But if they know about this wood line in the middle, this is where I would be heading. Because there's not really anything in Feudal Age that can fight off these Arambai. Let's take a look real quick. Did they actually see this? Yeah, they knew that the slumber camp is here. That seems like a prime location to attack. Where is the Arleon? Arleon was in the first game. He was in Arena. Oh boy, now we're seeing 3 rangers from Kiwi. This is kind of hurting my brain, to be honest. Why would you go 2 TCs into 3 rangers? I mean, I guess he's made, you know, 6 or 7 builds. Now he's forced to build a counter tower here. Trying to defend his gold. Hello, hey Daniela, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely Sunday. Yeah, Kiwi's just not having a good day. Look, he's so far behind in score. This tower, it's 96%. He's able to finish this. Just send 5 villagers and just build it. You need to send more than 1 though. You need many villagers building. Oh, just absolutely destroying them. Just send the villas and build. Come on, Kiwi. It's 97%. You can do it. Okay, now Garrison. Whew. That took a lot of effort. Kiwi's now lost 9 villagers. Definitely not his day right here. I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for asking. And now we see Kados getting a big boom going at the back. 3 TCs. Not really making any army. He is heavily on stone though, so I guess we're going to see a Camel Archer switch coming in the near future. I do not like this TC whatsoever. It's 2 tiles away from the gold, and it's just forever away from this wood line. It's not really gathering much resources at all. Nagus, though, staying on 1 TC, going for 3 range CA seems to be his play. Defensive tower on the wood line, definitely required. Rover's doing good. Kiwi, on the other hand, yeah. Kiwi is... Ugh. Kiwi had his dock denied, lost a villager in the middle of Dark Age. He's a very, very sad boy. And honestly, that's the sort of thing that tilts you so much that you just don't play well for the rest of the game. He's even losing farms to Rambai. How annoying is that? Oh, Kiwi. He lost 2 more villages there and 2 farms. Wolf is getting big value with these Rambai, I must say. Even though there's a very, very large army advantage for Team Kiwi right now, they haven't really done anything with it. And then while this is going on, Flight is up to 72 villages now. 3 TCs, adding a 4th TC. I mean, these villages... Nah, TC is always going to be finished in time. And Drogoth is trying to get some raids in with his knights, but really... There's so many TCs around, you can't really get a ton of damage in. You really need ranged units to try to shoot over the wood lines and shoot over the walls and whatnot. It's starting to get some farming eco set up. Those are very exposed farms. I'd much prefer them to be at the top of the hill where it's, you know, relatively safe. The Rambai have been cleaned up now, it seems. A second castle for Mr. Arf. He's on 3 TCs, soon to be 2 castles. Bigger Rambai production seems to be the play. And Flight's going to kill everyone with war elephants. I mean, it's definitely an option. I don't know if it's the best option, but it is an option. And we see Bashed is now starting to make some pikemen. I don't know if that's really necessary, to be honest. I'd much prefer him trying to get a castle up. Oh, the fishing ships are finally going to be killed. They've fished out this entire pond, basically. Big value for Flight's eco in the other game. Robo going full-time streamer. I don't know about full-time. Part-time is probably more accurate. As long as there are AusDraft games to stream, we will try to cast them. But thank you very much for the sub, Octi. It's nice to see you around. Oh, Kiwi's now. No, this isn't Kiwi. This is Nagus. Nagus is trying to avenge Kiwi. Kiwi's cav archers are really just sort of sitting around not doing much. I feel like a bully, to be honest. I'm making a lot of fun of Kiwi, but Flight is now on the way up to Imperial Age. Starting to drop stables. We're going to see Paladin not too far away. Oh boy. Here come the camels. Diving in, denying his stables. That's a little bit annoying, I will say. And Nagus is being very active with his CA. I really do think he's doing a great job. He can get up here and deny this castle as well. I guess he doesn't really know to go there, but yes he is. He is going to see it. Is this the famous Kiwi streamer, Octi? Octi's an Aussie streamer now. He is a full-on Aussie. Kiwi is still only on 2 TCs. Really, I'm not sure if I think... I don't think I like the way he's playing this. But maybe he was expecting to have fish eco. And so, losing the dock has essentially blown away all of his plans. Oh, just diving under the TC, going to deny a bunch of farms here. This is going to be pretty decent value. Nagus is doing a really great job trying to drag his team back into this game. The Camel Archers are on the field now from Mr. Kados. So they should just be hunting down... I mean, you could kill these knights, but they should be hunting down Cav Archers, not the knights. When are we having the Robo vs Soxy best of 21? I mean, I think that would be a very, very short 11-0 for Mr. Soxy, unfortunately. Rambai is just going to roll up and just absolutely flatten these Cav Archers. Look at those silly dart things go. But while this is going on, Nagus is continuing to roam around. Look at how many kills these CA have. 20 villages and 6 pikemen have been killed by these CA over here. Trying to bring back the eco difference, but it is still a very significant lead for Team Flightlessbird. He's starting to get Cavalier and Bloodlines. He doesn't have a ton of production, and he did lose a couple of hills there. But Flight is potentially just going to roll over this map with Paladin. I do like these walls from Drogoth, though. They're very forward-thinking. He wants to secure this bottom corner for trade. No, you get one Rocky-style trading montage, so easy in games. Whoever takes 10 games to warm up, then wins 11. I don't know about that. You guys are just trying to talk me up, that's all. Bastia is continuing to lose villagers left, right, and center, though. He's taken more damage than Kiwi has now at this point. Look at that. 2 to 37 KD. Absolutely flattened his eco. Oh, there's still EC8 back here as well. Yeah, we're not going to see the late game Goth spam for quite a while at this point. Forward wall, smart move. I'm here for onager action. I mean, onagers at some point, sure. But it looks like we're just going to be seeing Slav, Helb, Esso is the play. Needs to wall towards the middle pond, though. Get a wall across this way, or maybe across this diagonal, just to secure the side. And we see Kiwi now rushing up walls on the top side. Very intelligent move. Honestly, I would probably leave like 5 or 6 CA just hiding in that corner just to deny markets and deny the trade from being set up. $100 towards the prize pool. Metal respect. I don't know about that one. I don't know how entertaining that is. I don't really play 1v1s is the issue. And Soxy's like 2K2+. He's a big gamer. I'm just a small tiny gamer. Ooh, Flight's actually really far behind on his army upgrades. He's only doing the Castle Age armor upgrade right now, which means that he can still be fought off quite easily by just Castle Age CA right here. Okay, Imp is now in for Drogoth. He's getting Onager. He's getting Pikemen. Getting Squires as well. Probably Helb's going to be on the way pretty soon. Flight, I was saying that he was in a really good position. He's going for a 5th TT now, but he's going to potentially just get rolled by Helbs at this point. Because Nagus has just been so incredibly active with his CA, doing an absolutely brilliant job roaming around. Oh, look at this. One single camel from Mr. Zack Attack is killing a bunch of villagers back here, which Kados has not noticed. He's a little bit busy dealing with other things at the moment, it seems. Small gamers, best gamers. It's funny that you say that, Smallhead. Ooh, Drogoth. That is not where you're supposed to build your market. The market needs to be down here in the corner, my man. And then you build your walls up here. Oh. Okay, +4 armor though. Once that comes in for Flight, he won't care about the CA anymore. But by that point, there's going to be a bunch of Helbs on the field. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have any siege to take down the castle, and there's going to be some Huskars on the field as well from the Goth player, which will be decent at fighting off the Halberdiers. Oh, and he's also not going to finish this wall before these fields get through. If Flight notices this, he potentially just sends, 1 or 2 cavalry out here to deny this field, plus these villages are inside. They could sneak all the way to the back and build sneaky stables to send big raids into the back of the base. Seeing man-at-arms tech. I don't know if I like that. I think Helbs and more siege. Well, that's decent attack rounds. Helbs and more siege would be better. You need like forward castles and trebs. Or siege rams. Anything along those lines so that you can just clean out these castles right now. Secure this bottom position. Take out all the Flight's eco that he has down here. And then he won't be able to afford to keep making... what's the word? Keep making Cavalier. And he's actually not got a lot of production right now. Is he saving it for Paladin, is the question? Maybe. I don't know if he should be saving for Paladin. He doesn't have a ton of army to upgrade, but maybe he gets Paladin and then he goes back into the army production. But yeah, Helb Onagers versus a Rembai plus Camel Archers plus Cavalier, like almost... If Drogoth has enough army numbers, he can essentially 1v3 these players right here. Grand Nagus the CA getting a bunch of free damage in there. The Mass CA on this side versus Mass and Rambai. I don't know if Kiwi wants to fight this. I think those lawn darts are going to be pretty dangerous. Okay, no, those are just onagers. I still want to see some trebs or something. Or some bomber cannons from somebody else. There just needs to be some units that can kill these castles. Because I feel like Kiwi's team is in a really nice position right now. Oh, look, SO on the way. They're in a nice position, but they're sort of just wasting their advantage that they have. And the Goths here trying to raid a little bit. They're not going to get a ton of damage in. The Rambai, though, they are just a pain in the ass to deal with. Are they elites yet? Yes, they are elite. Cannon Galleon time. I mean, there's no castles in range of the pond, so I wouldn't really prioritize it for Kiwi's team. Potentially Flight could make 1 or 2. Kill this TC. Kill some of these buildings. Okay, we're going to see Trebs soon, TM. And look at this. Walling behind the walls means that these villages are going to be on the inside, potentially going for sneaky stables. And there's still no markets down here in the good position. And even Kiwi is very, very slow in adding his own markets. I don't like that house indeed. But look at Nagus. Nagus is being an absolute gamer right now. Constantly being active with his CA, roaming around, killing villagers wherever we can find them. Oh, I want to see the Onager shots. Oh, yes. Yes. Shoot. Oh. Oh. It could have been so much more. It could have been so much more. And then they just instantly become SO just afterwards. Oh, imagine if he hadn't noticed and he just kept patrolling forwards. Oh. I would have been so happy to see it. Kiwi is continuing to try to push. We've got heavy camels, we've got imp camels just about to come in. What is Bash making? Nothing at the moment. He's got a decent number of Huskars and pikemen somewhere. But, he really needs to get Imperial Age upgrades. Okay, he's going for elite Huskars. Which makes sense when you see this many, CA out on the field. Kiwi's trying to back up, get in range of the castle. I like this. Oh, and the camel's coming around from the backside. I think this might be decent. Kiwi just needs to keep all of his CA constantly firing, though. Oh, there's so much damage coming in here. Okay, but the camel archers have swung around to the side to try to help out, and we see a bunch of Huskars coming in, trying to get involved. And we do see the first trebuchet starting to come out on the side, and the onagers throwing some big rocks into people's faces. This army, though, is quite scary. Because the Huskars, I mean, I guess the Imperial Camels are decent against them, but they're not going to be amazing. Nagus is a monster eco. Eco KD, oh yes indeed. 76 to 1 is crazy, my man. Ooh, okay, you're just trying to block your CA? I don't know about that. Because, like, remember, this orange wall can always be deleted at any time. Flight, it seems... Yeah, he's just mass investing into trade while he makes flight cap, it seems. Just waiting for the longer game. Where are these two villages going to go? That's the question that I keep wanting to know. I feel like those two vills should just try to get down here and build some stables, and just start like raiding into the back of everybody's base. Let's snooze that ad. Oh, big engagement coming in once again. Where are Kiwi CA? They're over this side. Not exactly the best. Oh, he's doing herbal medicine. What an absolute gamer. What an absolute gamer. Okay, the camels are trying to get around the backside once again. Fighting underneath this castle, it'd be much better if it had fletching and bodkin arrow. But it does seem like this will be a cleanup for Kiwi, I think. Oh, it's so hard to tell the Rambai. They're just such a crazy unit. Sometimes they're amazing and sometimes they're horrible. Generally, it depends on who's using them. Love how the deer are trapped between the walls. Yeah, they're just... they're unsure where they're going. Oh, Trebuchet is getting absolutely fine. Honestly, you could probably just kill this castle with onagers. Because the onagers have a 9 range, the castle has only 8. Camel archers are coming around from the backside, though. We need the helbs in front and the onagers to the back. That's what we need. Oh, those Pelin just got absolutely shredded. There's just so many CA here. Big massive of Huskars. Are we going to see a CA switch? Sorry, not CA. A hand cannon switch from Zack Attack. It could be on the cards, if I'm being honest. Hand cannons are a pretty good unit. Kiwi, I do not like these market positions. Why are you building your markets there? You build your markets over this way so that they have to make less of a trip. And now Flight is actually in. He can delete these walls whenever he wants to. Where did those two vills go? Oh, did the vills die? It looks like the two villages did fall down somewhere. Over the side. They have pushed them back for the time being. Their Rambai is sitting over here attacking a wall. The push is pushing. Don't honor your helps though. That is definitely not something that I recommend. Another castle is going to go down and then they can start to go up this hill or potentially just straight across the lowlands. Really well played for Team Kiwi to bring this back. Nagus making up for the arena game. Oh yeah, Nagus is doing a brilliant job here. Oh, please, attack rounds. I mean, even without attack rounds, they just did a ton of damage there. He just needs to right-click these onagers onto some of these camel archers, though, just to keep Nagus' CA alive. Please, I want to see the onagers. I want to see the big splats. I need to stop clicking on things and showing the range bars. It's a nasty habit I need to get out of. And look at this, Kiwi's just committing to the walls. Oh, there are some petards. He's going to potentially sneak around this side, it looks like. Trying to get a Rambai raid into the back of the base. Defensive castle down this side. I like it, I like it. Kiwi is... Oh, sorry, Kiwi. Flight is a little bit busy at the moment. He is trying to snipe these SO. He can't really go for a raid right there. Burmese elephants when? I feel like we're going to see Persian elephants before we're going to see Burmese elephants. It doesn't look like they're potentially in position for a cleanup, though. There are a lot of Huskars here and absolutely no infantry. Drogoth is absolutely slacking on his barracks production. Now that the onagers are gone, Nagus' CA are all going to get cleaned up. He needs to run back, get back behind these castles. Flee! Flee! Keep your numbers alive. I'm definitely hoping that Drogoth has the unique tech. I do forget what the word is. The one that gives him flash damage. The Arambai are trying to go for a run. Potentially kill some villagers, but they should just dive straight to the back for the trade line, I think. 50 trade versus 120. 10, 10. Yeah, 50. Oh, yeah, Flight has huge trade numbers. Holy balls. Saying that, their trade line is not ideal. They could delete a bunch of these palisade walls to make it a little bit smoother. See a couple of light cabs trying to get some raiding in. But yeah, Flight is almost at the point where he can just go full paladin, or he can full sling gold to, let's turn off the market buy sell. Full sling gold to the rest of his team with the amount of trade that he has pumping at the moment. Trying to get some more walls down there. I do like it. Look at those around by. Hiding behind the market. The CA, I think, should be able to clean them up just fine. We're not seeing any docks for cannon galleons at this point. Caravanserai when? A very good question. No sign of them in the trade line just yet. Okay, we see the held production is back online for Mr. Drogoth. Getting conscription. Nagus, you need to keep backing up. You need to let the onagers do the brunt of the work. Oh, those villagers. Potentially going to get absolutely splattered there. I wouldn't mind seeing a bunch of rams as well right here from Drogoth. But yeah, the lack of trade is potentially going to be killer for Kiwi's team. Kiwi himself has a lot of trade, but the rest of his team does not. I guess if he's sensible with his army, he shouldn't be losing too many CA, and so he can afford to sling gold to the rest of the team. Just trade low. I mean, yeah. That is the Aussie way. You need 60 trade cards as quickly as possible. Oh, we're seeing the Burmese elephant switch coming in. I was wrong. We're not seeing the Persian war elephants. Unfortunately. But the thing is that Kiwi has the perfect counter in Flaming Camels. He does only have one castle though, so he can't really afford mass production of them. But he could start to make them. The problem is that it is locked behind quite an expensive tech in +2 range for the trebuchets, which he does not have just yet. Out-predicted? Yeah, feels bad, man. Feels very bad, man. And then Flight's being incredibly active with these Paladin, constantly running around trying to snipe the siege weapons. And as I keep saying, once there's no SO, Nagus' CA are just going to get absolutely gutted by Camel Archers. They're just such an incredibly powerful unit. Attack bonus versus the Cav Archers, plus they have regeneration, plus they just have better stats to begin with. I feel like Nagus is almost at the point where he needs to switch into Paladin, but he's got no trade, so he can't afford to do a full army switch. He's starting to get Barding armor, but he's switching into Light Cav. Light Cav versus this many Camel Archers plus full Paladin from Flight is definitely not the ideal of what you want to see. Okay, we do see another castle coming up, though. Kiwi is starting to see the elephants. How soon are we going to see the unique tech? How soon are we going to see Flaming Camels? That's what we want to see. What's Flight's res like? Let's just take a quick look at this. Got decent gold income, right? With 75 trade cards. He's got a ton of food in the bank. Full Paladin queue, essentially, is what he's got going on. Flight has too much eco. Yeah, that's true. He's got 150 eco. He could probably afford to delete, 10 or 20 bills. He's honestly got too much trade as well. But for the time being, that's not the worst thing, because then he can just sling the rest of his team. On the top side, Kiwi is doing his best to just keep walling them out. The Burmese elephants, though, once they get their unique tech and all their armor upgrades, look at that, they got 9 PS armor. The heavy CA, they've got 11 attack, they're only doing 2 damage a shot against these elephants. 100% needs to get Flaming Camels out on the field as quickly as possible. Or the Slav player needs to swing helms to the top. But then, he needs his helms down here to fight off the Paladin as well. Oh, those are... What are these trebuchets doing? What are you doing, silly boys? Yeah, Drogoth's SO positioning and micro does not seem to be as perfect as they require at this point in time. Flight is just doing an amazing job constantly diving in here and sniping the onagers. Over on this side, the elephants, switch. They're just bashing away at the walls. Kiwi is continuing to try to re-wall. He's getting banking. That's not the tech. Oh, yes! He's queued up 10 flaming camels. That is what we want to see. Bring out the flaming camels. And he's also going for Onager as well. He's going for all the units. Imagine Kiwi in the position of Drogoth? Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, the Tatars late game army comp is just so incredibly limited that it doesn't feel like you can get full value out of it. Like, a Paladin player is somewhat limited, but you've still got massive potential for micro. Engaging correctly with Paladin is an incredibly valuable skill. And as we see, he's constantly in there dodging the Halberdiers, trying to snipe the Onagers, allowing his teammate Kados to do the bulk of the work. Over on this side, those Huskarls, they're not going anywhere. Where are the Flaming Camels, though? They're just sitting back here. He's massing them up first before he can go in. Wants an option for Keshiks or CA as needed. I mean, Keshiks, they're a nice unit, but they're by no means, you know, insane. And they are heavily hampered by the fact that you require castles for production. And we do see the Paladin switch coming in for Nagus, though. This is what I wanted to see earlier. I definitely approve of this. This is potentially going to turn into a wood game sooner or later. Just quickly take a bit of an overview of that. There's still quite a lot of wood in this bottom corner. And there's a decent amount in this top corner as well. I think it's still pretty even. But teams in the next 10 minutes are going to need to start thinking about where can we take wood efficiently and effectively. Camel Archers are trying to dive in. Or Camel Archers, sorry, the Flaming Camels. They even do decently well against the Arambai, if they're able to get close enough. Wouldn't the Camels be best? Imperial Camels don't have any attack bonus versus Elephants, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, they don't have any extra bonus versus them, whereas Helbs, we go find a Helb, they've got an extra 28 versus War Elephants on top of their already existing bonus. And oh boy, we see a big trade raid coming in. Paladins and Camel Archers everywhere. And this just completely cuts Slavs out of the game because they're such a slow civ. Helbs and SO are unable to chase Camel Archers. And so many trade units are going to die right here. On the top side, they are pushing back really hard though. Massive pushback. Can Kiwi just dive? I think he just needs to do it. Take 20, 30 CA, dive up here and start to kill trade. He needs to go, you know, hit for hit essentially. And try to kill as much of their trade as you lose your own trade. Forward castles as well from flight. Got trebs as well to take out the buildings. And the Paladins are just going to absolutely run amok. Spreading out throughout the eco, killing farmers, killing trade wherever they can find them. Oh, shoot! Explode! That was a little bit disappointing. Slavs should be spamming castles though. Yep, that's definitely a good point. But it's quite likely that he just didn't prioritize stone gathering and left it for, you know, his teammates who could use it more efficiently, I should say. We're starting to see Imperial Camels swinging down, but at the same time there are Huskarls as well. I wouldn't mind seeing some more Helbs from Mr. Bash down here. But this forward castle from Kados is quite annoying. It's another potential break point that they can use to get into the base of Team Kiwi. And the trade numbers are just dropping. 30, 35, 30. Kiwi is the only one that has a healthy trade count at the moment. And where is his CUA gone? Oh, is he just full swinging to the bottom? I don't like that. I do not like that in the slightest. You've got another player sending CA down here to fight Camel Archers. I mean, they've almost cleaned up the army on this side. But there are still these two castles that they're going to have to deal with. And just more Paladins constantly streaming in from Mr. Flight. Who has such solid trade numbers himself. He's down to 40 villages though. I hope, yeah, other players need to be slinging him food. Because he's not going to be able to afford constant Paladin production with only 40 builds. Especially when a bunch of them are forward building castles like this. Kados' Camel Archer mass. Oh yeah. We've got 86 kills from 17 units here. And then you got 32 up here with 36 kills. Okay, like, this is why I think Berbers are such an insane civ. The Camel Archer is such an incredibly powerful unit. And then with the free natural healing that they have, they're just constantly able to stay ready to the fight. You know, you take a little bit of damage, you just move back and you just chill. And while Kiwi and Green were both full swinging down to the bottom side, Orange is continuing to push on this side. And Kiwi's Cav Archers are not very useful against the Battle Elephants, as we said, because they've got such large pierce armor. But if he leaves, they don't really have anything to fight the Arambai. And this forward castle has been denied, but there are still a bunch of Paladin roaming around in the trade line at the back there. Kiwi's team does still have the score lead for now, but it is quickly... The gap between the scores is quickly closing. But it does look like the forward position here is going to fall soon. They don't quite have the siege that they need. We've got siege ram being checked right now, so the castles will go down eventually. But they've bought so much time, and now there's another push coming in on this side. Remember, this castle is still here. Which game am I casting after this? I'm probably going to go have dinner and then cast the Fox set versus Team UK. Because I want to have dinner. Honestly. And both of the next sets will be starting very shortly. I'll probably cast Rex tomorrow for the 2 matches. Pub is more important. Exactly. Well, that's why I have dinner and then we have pub. That's how it goes, Adam. Rams just before Siege Ram. Oh my god, look at how many Camel Archers there are. 66 Camel Archers with 120 kills between them. Eating stream, cooking stream, no. I'm not that much of a variety streamer. Okay, we are starting to see more flaming camels come out. Start to explode all over these elephants. But it does look like Kiwi's team is faltering pretty hard. Oh, yeah, more Camel Archers just diving down here to get into the trade. Onagers to kill the Camel Archers. They're trying, man. They're doing their best, but Kiwi... Oh, sorry, Kiwi. Flight is constantly doing his best to snipe them. All the markets in the bottom corner have now been deleted. All of the trade is going to stop running. They have to quickly rebuild markets somewhere else. But wherever you build them, there's going to be army coming close. This does look like the GG. Losing your markets like this, especially when you've already lost such a large amount of your trade. You've got 3 players with less than half the amount of trade that they need. Only 1 player, Kiwi, has a healthy trade count number. Over on the other side, we've got 60 trade, 80 trade, 50 trade. Only 30 trade, but that's Goss. They don't really need goals. If Nagus had Tarkans against the Camel Archers, that's an interesting shout. I think that they could be decent. The problem is the Paladin from Flight. But it would definitely have been a much better call than going for his own Cav Archers. Oh, that was a big Onager shot. But, you know, killing 10 or 20 Camel Archers is just so incredibly irrelevant when he has 60 of them on the field. And we see the GGs starting to come in. Woo! That game was back and forth for sure. We'll go quickly take a look at the predictions. Heavily in flightlessbird's favor, almost entirely because of the dock snipe, I would assume. We'll go pay out those. Who had the best APM? I assume that this is... I don't know exactly how this works, to be honest. I'm not a Capture Age pro. Let's go to statistics. APM. You guys can just look at these stats, if that's relevant for you. Nagus had pretty high APM, it seems. Back in Castle Age, it looks like. Actually, I did want to check relics. Yeah, no one really prioritized picking up relics, so they didn't really have a ton of relic gold. Which is definitely something that I recommend on this map. Try to pick up 3 or 4 relics as one of the gold-heavy civs, like, for instance, Persians or Hindustanis, where you're constantly losing gold melee units. Having, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 gold coming from the relics is pretty nice. Pretty great at helping keep up production as you set up trade.